Hello my friends, it's Doreen again. In today's practice we will take a closer look at a pose called Trikonasana or triangle pose, whichever name you know. And I will hone in mostly on the one problem that many students have when I teach them in class. It is the hyperextension of the front leg, which then sometimes leads to pain in the back of the ankle. So knee doesn't feel good, back of the ankle doesn't feel good. And then sometimes it pulls here on the attachment point of your hamstrings. So I will teach you how to tone the back of the legs to stabilize the back of the legs, and then how to use your quads to straighten the leg without losing the tone in the back, so that the leg will be straight but not hyperextended. There are many different variations of Trikonasana when it comes to the width of the stand and where to place your hand. I'll show you my way that I feel like works best for me, knowing that there are different variations and there are wonderful probably too. All right, so let's come to all fours. So straighten your arms. To begin with, arch your low back, look towards the front of the room, and as you exhale, round your upper spine. On an inhale, move your chest down, look slightly forward, lift your sitting bones. And as you exhale, lift your chest, push it up, and move your tailbone towards your heart. And then do that 2 more times. Come on back to neutral. Now move your knees in a little closer towards your hands. Move your right foot out like a kickstand. Top of the foot is down and slightly in, so like you're doing child's pose. And then see if you can maybe move the foot out a little further. So now we'll move back and forth here. On an inhale, arch your low back, look forward. And as you exhale, shift your hips back and point your tailbone towards your heart. Go back and forth. Sometimes the knees don't bend all that far, so stop when the knee says, please don't bend any further. You may already feel a little bit of stretch on your inner thighs. If you're very mobile, probably not. Come on back to neutral. Get the leg in. Sit on your heels, reach your arms up. And exhale, hands down to the floor. Extend your left leg to the left, right knee slightly out, foot towards the center. So work again with the arching of the spine when you come forward. Tailbone moves towards your heart, shift your weight back when you exhale. Keep the sole of your left foot on the floor the entire time. Come on back to neutral. Sit on your heels again. Interlace your fingers and reach your arms up over your head. Release the hands down to the side. Come to sitting. Now we just want to get to know the hamstrings or how to tone them. The job of the calves and the hamstrings is to bend your knees. So this is what we will utilize to tone the muscles of your back. So here, bring your feet hip width apart. You can place your fingertips into the ground and then push your heels into the floor and I always tell my students, like, visualize your heels are glued to the ground. And then while you push your heel down, you can already feel some tone. And then as you draw your heel towards your sitting bone, calves and hamstrings should be nice and firm. Just feel this here for a moment. Keep pushing, keep your spine long. Breathe. All right, so now we're gonna add one more thing. Release your legs for a moment. The quads are attached here from below your knee to your hip. One crosses even the hip joints. So again, you have 4 of them. Their job is to straighten the leg. So in order to prevent hyperextension, we need to learn to keep some tone in the back while adding the tone of your quads to straighten the leg without hyperextension. Voila, let's try this out. We do 1 leg at a time, might be a little easier. You can hold on to the front of your left shin. Push the heel into the floor so the calf is firm. Drive your heel towards your own hips. Hamstrings are firm. Now add the tone of your quads and straighten the leg all the way down. So you can again hold on to your knee here so that your low back doesn't hurt. And then feel how the back of your legs are firm as you tone all muscle fibers you can find in your quads. There's your straight leg. And then release. Change sides. Hold on to your front of your shin to take some weight off your low back. Couldn't mention further, if you have really short hamstrings, it probably feels nice if you sit on a block, elevate your hips, takes the stress off your low back. All right, hold on. Bend your left leg a little bit, push the heel into the floor. Drag your heel towards your own hips until there's firmness in the back of your legs. And then tone the quads to straighten the leg all the way without losing the tone in the back of your legs. If you do all this, you also notice that you have to be really, really present, and you get to pay attention to the sensations of your body, which is like a little vacation for your mind. Dropping your attention to the sensations of your body. Good, and release. Okay, so now from here, come to all fours, place your hands, lift your knees off the floor. All right, 1 leg at a time again. It's a little tricky here because the foot is on the floor, but still do the action. Start with the right leg to drag your right heel towards your own sitting bone. It's like you want to kick yourself in the butt, but the foot is glued to the ground. Then use your quads of your right leg to straighten it all the way, and then push your hands into the floor to get the heel closer to the floor. Not necessary that they have to touch the floor or the heel has to come down, you just move in this direction. And then make sure that the calves are still firm, hamstrings are firm, quads are firm. Bend both legs, look forward, hover with your knees over the ground for a moment. Lift up higher. Shift your chest to your knees, tone the back muscles of your left leg. Use your quads to straighten the leg and then let the heel come down. How far ever your body allows you to go down. Bend both legs. Hover with your knees slightly over the ground, look forward. And now both legs at the same time. Knees are bent, let the heels move towards your sitting bones until your hamstrings and hammies are firm. Quad strengthens to straighten the leg and push back. And look up in between your hands, walk your way forward. You can keep your legs bent or straight right away if you're very mobile. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, bow. Place your hands onto your knees. Look up halfway. And release. Stand at the front of your mat. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up. As you exhale, bow forward, let the hands come down to the floor. From here, step your right leg back into a long stance. Both hands on the inside of your front leg. So fairly close towards your left leg. So we'll concentrate mostly here on the front leg. Lift the toes up for this one and then drag the heel towards the back of the room to tone your hamstrings and your calves. Just take a moment here to feel that you can do this. And then with your following exhalation, engage your quads to straighten the leg all the way or a little bit more. Bend the knee again, draw your heel backwards. Tone the quads to straighten your front leg as much as it goes. So one more time. And then keep the leg bent, lift your back heel off the ground. Keep the leg bent, just drag the heel backwards to really feel the action here of that when you draw your heel to your hips, that the muscles will tone. And then bow a little bit more forward. Fingertips or palms you can choose. Stay on the inside of your left leg. Straighten your arms again. From here, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down to the floor. Take the tops of the feet down. Lift your chest with an inhalation. Press back again to downward facing dog. Take your right leg forward, make some room. Spin the back heel down to the floor. Both hands on the inside. Breathe through your nose. So for today's practice, lift the toes all the way up. Draw your right heel towards the back foot. Keep the action. Now fire up the muscles above your kneecap to straighten the leg. Bend the knee, draw the heel backwards. Straighten the leg by toning the muscles above your knee. 2 more times. Really differentiate which muscle group you're focusing on when you do which position of the leg. And then keep the leg bent. Lift your back heel off the floor, lower the knee down, walk your hands slightly out in front of you. This in itself is a pretty good pose, so you can stay here. You can take your palms down. Take a deep breath in, legs stay strong, and drag this right heel backwards. And then bow a little bit more forward. Place your hands back down to the floor. From here, step forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Bring your hands to your hips. Use your next inhale to lift your chest all the way up. Come to a wide stand, facing the long edge of your mat. Place your hands onto your knees with your knees bent. Shoulders back a little bit here. So now it becomes a little weirder even because the feet really don't move, but you can still draw the heels towards your hips. It's called isometric contraction, toning a muscle without moving the joint. That's how they call this thing. So draw your heels towards your sitting bones until you feel good firmness in your hamstrings and calves. Then let the hands come down to the floor and add your quads to straighten the legs, but make sure the back of the leg stays toned. Then walk your hands laterally over towards your right foot. Thought about it for a moment. So this in itself is a pretty good pose. You can stay here. If you want to make it deeper, or you can make it deeper, hold on to the outer shin. Tone the back of your legs, tone your quads, and exhale, bow over your front leg more. Inhale, retone your muscles. Exhale, bow in deeper. Walk your hands back towards the center, straighten your arms. Recheck, front and back is toned. Walk over towards your left foot. You could stay here. If your body needs to bow more forward to feel a stretch, hold on to the outer left shin. Retone, exhale, bow more forward. Come on back towards the center. Straighten your arms, heel toe your feet in a little bit. Place your hands onto your knees, just lift your torso up. And straighten your legs all the way. Heel toe, your feet closer together. All right, so now let's take this into Trikonasana. Here we are. Come to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach your arms forward and up. And exhale, bow forward, lower the hands down to the floor. Good. From here, step back with let's go with the right leg first. Long stance. Again, that's what I mean. There are Trikonasanas where people teach it more with a shorter stance. I like the long stance better. If you have shorter hamstrings, you may enjoy a block in line with more like the back of your heel to give yourself a little bit more space, or the fingertips can be on the ground. So, hand on the block or the floor. Long stance, front leg is then bent first. Breathe. So lift the toes, draw the heel backwards a lot. And then tone the quads to straighten the leg fully. Good, and really check in that all the muscle fibers have some good tone in the back, then at the front. Now turn your chest open towards the right side of the room. Push into the ground and then reach your arm up towards the ceiling. If you have neck issues, it feels nice to look straight forward. Or you could look past your thumb up towards the ceiling. All your attention goes down to the leg. Wrap your arm, beautiful bones with like strong muscles so it feels supported. Hugging your bones with your own muscles. And then exhale, hand back down to the floor. Bend your knee. Lower the knee down to the floor. Come to all fours. Take a breath. Take your right leg forward. Spin your back heel down to the floor. Again, blocks. You can even use the block in a higher position if you need more room. Fingertips down to the ground. Hand to your hip. So you want to kind of align your heels with each other. I know I didn't address it on the first side. Would have been helpful. All right, so draw your right heel towards the back of the room. And then when you exhale, the quads of your right leg start to tone. Takes a lot of attention from your end to make sure that the muscles on the front and the back stay equally toned. Remember, you want to hug your leg using your own muscles. Turn your chest. Reach the arm up. If your torso bows forward still because you don't have so much range of motion yet, then the arm up may doesn't feel so good. Then just keep your hand on your hip. And lower the hands down. Back knee down. Come to all fours. Place your hands. You can either keep the knees on the floor or come to plank. Lower down to the ground. Inhale, Bhujangasana. Exhale, Child's Pose. Already time to wind down. You can use a strap here since we already prepared the hamstrings and the adductors so well. Let's apply these principles here now in a supine posture. Let's start with the right leg. Put the strap around the ball of your big toe and your pinky toe. Hold on to the strap with both arms. Good. So here, bend the knee again. Same, I keep repeating it. Back of the leg firms, then straighten the leg all the way. Some of you may enjoy to keep the bottom leg straight here on the floor. You can also do that. Push your heel into the ground if you have your bottom leg down. Good, and then from here start to move your foot closer towards your face. Yeah, making sure there's good firmness. Doing these actions, these balance actions, is also really good to stabilize your knee joints. Then hold on to the strap with only your right hand and bring the leg to the side. So here it's easy to overstretch the inner thighs. Here's the adductors. So by toning the muscles of the legs like we did, you will prevent this from happening. You can move your foot closer towards the crown of your head. And then inhale, guide your foot up back with your strap. Put the other foot into the strap. Lower the leg down. Bend the knee a little bit. Tone the back. With your quads, straighten the leg, no hyperextension. And decide again if the bottom leg on the floor is better or if you feel like you need the knee bent. Good. With a nicely hugged leg, move your foot closer towards your face. Hold the strap with one hand, fairly close so that your arm can stay straight, and then move the leg to the side. And the bottom leg is also, it's not just hanging out here, I'm keeping it firm just as I keep the top leg firm here. Come on back towards the center, undo the strap. Pull your knees towards your chest, rock a little bit from side to side. Bring your feet as wide as your mat, apart from each other, elbows above your head, and just very slowly move back and forth. The pose is called the windshield wiper. We can see why. So I would use one breath to take the knees to one side, and then the opposite breath to take the knees to the other side. And release. Move your feet back towards the middle. One more time, pull the knees towards your chest. And it's time to relax. So extend your legs here to the ground. I'm running out of mat. Let the palms face up towards the sky. Move your shoulders to the space behind you. If there's low back pain, you can put a blanket underneath your thighs, a rolled blanket that could take away the stress from your low back. Here, take a deep breath in. And with an exhalation, now bring some effort into relaxing all leg muscles. It's usually quite easy because you worked so much with the legs that you really know where the muscles are right now. So somehow it gives you more access, I think, to now bring relaxation into these muscle groups. So one more deep breath in, awareness to the legs. And then exhale, just soften them. Then take a deep breath in again. A little stronger exhale. And begin to move your fingers and your toes. Roll your wrists, roll your ankles. So you feel more of your physical self again. Bend your knees, you can roll to your right side. Stay here for one breath. Make your way back to a seated posture, Sukhasana. All right, check out your hips, check out your knees. Should feel fairly good by now. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.